thanks again.
What's my mic level look like? A bit low.
I thought Izzy was a dude. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you said thanks, man.
Oh no, he's hot!
Oh no.
Why would he be a dude?
I thought Izzy was
Why is that? In what world is that a guy's name?
Well, I knew an Izzy and he was a big, huge Samoan guy. He was super, super cool.
I could see that.
It was really cool because he would barbecue all the time. Like, yeah man, hold on. I show you the really way to get the barbecue in.
He was Samoan, but he sounds African.
Yeah, I can't do a Samoan accent. It was close.
I don't know that you should. Yeah.
I don't want to do it injustice. It's close enough. Oh, I can't open the bag. Fuck! Oh my god, what rocket science is this? Fuck it, knife. Let's go.
Jesus Christ.
Off.
Next is gonna put on a gun and start shooting it.
Well, I mean, that is an option.
It's still alive!
Scorched earth, scorched earth! Still moving! Oh, hell yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Boys and girls, I am really ready for this lunch.
Sushi is never filling enough for me.
That's why you get 2 rolls and some rice. That's also
Well,
why
we get a bunch of rolls because they're super cheap. They're like $2 for 6.
What the
Duh.
fuck?
Yeah. But it's just never enough. So I get like pork fried rice, and that's good.
Pork fried rice is good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd have pork fried rice and sushi.
What? It's great.
Hi, Papas. Are you gonna be making
Like it's not like you eat the sushi with pork fried rice on top of it.
You just mix it up. You make the sushi out of pork fried rice.
Okay, that would be gross. Too much
What
grease.
are you doing? That doesn't work.
What are you doing?
I'm eating sushi! What is so hard to understand about this?
Clearly.
God! Dude, I got this big fat bowl of fucking rice with all this yummy shit on it. I got these 2 rolls just looking sensual over there. I got a whiskey lemonade. I'm happy. Are you trying to steal my happiness again? Why do you hate the things we love? You want to bite?
Yeah.
I'll share with you.
Yeah. Okay. Send it my way.
All right, cool. It's on the way.
Put it in the mail. Right now.
It'll be about 14 hours. Good luck.
It'll come in about a week.
Mm.
5 to 10 business days.
Yeah.
5 to 10 business days. Didn't pay for overnight shipping. I'm sorry.
It'll show. When? I don't know. I hate getting anything delivered in the mail anymore because they're always either late or it's always damaged. But then again, I tried UPS for a bunch of my car parts and I got 2 boxes that literally look like they've been through the Gulf War. So, not quite sure what they do anymore.
Oh man, I just noticed with one of the hairstyles for V, the hair literally isn't attached to the player model.
Oh, fantastic. Groundbreaking.
Yeah, sounds about right. I know when I first played Horizon Zero Dawn, I had like an uncanny valley look at Aloy when she was a child because the hair model just made it look ugh.
You know, that was the only game where I really felt that in the past couple years. That game was Uncanny Valley.
It was when she was a child, but when she got older, it was fine.
Just the whole game felt off for me. I don't know.
I fucking love that game.
It's a great game.
It's really good. I never finished it, but I need to before the next one comes out.
Oh,
Right.
definitely finish it.
I've only gotten as far as like the mountain is your mother, and I was like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Mountain Mama!
I'm guessing she's an android.
Nope. She's an
The mountain.
alien. Gotta be.
Ah,
Plot twist.
Oh, you guys are silly. She's
Wait, you
the
said
hill.
gotta be. Do you not know? Does it not explain it in that game?
Oh, it does. Everything gets explained in that game.
Oh,
That game is
so they
exposition.
weren't planning
game.
on a second then.
Well, almost everything.
Oh.
They
What a
explain enough that they could do a second. I'm fascinated by the level of work they did in terms of like the language, how society actually would reform itself.
Who's taking fucking pictures? That's unprofessional.
Shut up.
It's got to
I'm
be
a
for him.
professional fucking influencer, yo. I gotta
As you take it off of a phone, not a camera.
shut up. Oh yeah, because I want to go dig out my fucking kit bag over on the dinner table and set up that motherfucker.
Got to get the lighting just right for your food.
Oh god, don't even get me started. In fact, Trump still has my light set up. I'm gonna have to go beat his ass, get those back.
In fact, I wish Cyberpunk had delicious looking food, but they don't. Looks like shit. Garbage.
Actually, the noodle places look pretty good.
I expect some Final Fantasy level of detail on the food.
Oh
watching
yeah, no, it's
Shadow's
not that
playthrough
detailed, but
Last night was great when he's sitting at the diner and there's a pizza floating off of a platter on the table. It's literally just floating like 2 inches off. And then he looks down again. The pizza's disappeared. And the table across from him is just one guy who keeps eating this hamburger. And this lady just keeps coming back and taking his order in just this terrible fucking cycle.
Systemic had a great thing where he was talking to Johnny, and like every time Johnny's hand would move, a floating cigarette would stay where his hand was.
Well, like I was playing earlier, and I had an enemy in the elevator that never came out, and he kept going in and out, in and out, in and out. I'm like, oh, this is a little breaky on me. I finally killed him, but it took forever.
Alright, are we fucking ready? Who are we waiting on now?
No one. We're ready.
Alright. I don't think
Hold on,
any
I
of
gotta
us
fix my
fucking
hair.
plan to start. Yeah. You have the hair for podcasts, for audio podcasts.
Gotta do it. Gotta get it right on fleek, as the kids say.
Don't ever say that again.
No, I'm sorry. Was that not cash money for you, Dad? I'm trying to get that 18 to 25-year-old demographic interested. I think that's how you do it, right?
Are we doing an intro or what?
We could try one. We could just do a cold open. I like cold opens.
We do cold opens. Cold opens are fine. If we're doing a cold open, include all of this.
Well, of course. Let me finish shotgunning this whiskey. Woo! Video Games, Booze, and News Network coming to you live this Saturday at 14.
We're not doing that. Oh god,
Eastern.
no.
Jesus fuck.
Go to your local radio station. We don't need any of that shit.
Well, he definitely brought the booze, that's for sure.
Yeah. Alright, so in the background we got Cyberpunk playing. I created a new character just to kind of show off the whole, what I think, personally, is very limited character creation. But people seem to be praising it for some reason, so... Not to mention the fact that it glitches out quite often, but sure.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen anybody praising it. I think most people that I've seen have actually been agreeing that it's pretty lackluster in a lot of regards.
I've talked to a couple of people who said it was pretty detailed, but I was like, no, it's like Fallout.
Define pretty detailed.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely not detailed. I mean, maybe in some aspects it's a little bit more detailed than others, but like it still lacks stuff that other character creators have.
I mean,
it's got
I
nothing on
personally
Code
don't
Vein.
like character creators. I'm like, nope, skip, whatever.
Oh, I will spend hours in a character creator if it's good enough, but this one I was like, man, it just feels like I'm putting like cardboard cutout hair on and slightly changing some aspects.
The character creator in Cyberpunk kind of feels like you guys remember like you would have those magazines where it would have this advertisement to like create your own like action figure or doll or whatever, and then you would just like cut and pull the fucking pieces of paper onto it. That's Cyberpunk's character creator.
Yeah, you want to talk about a detailed character creator? I would say Code Vein is probably the most detailed I've ever touched.
Code
Vein is
Vein or
pretty detailed.
I was
Black
gonna say,
Desert.
this is like a discount Code Vein, a very heavily discounted Code Vein.
Yeah, fucking clearance
$2
Code
on the
Vein.
Steam store. Unfortunate.
I mean,
The
it's kinda
last
true,
call
though.
code vein, they're like, all right, we're getting rid of it now. Let's fucking all right. I'm gonna make so I'm doing a new character for the stream slash podcast slash whatever, because my on-stream character has a special twist to it, and my off-stream character is a bit farther in, so I don't want to spoil stuff for people who haven't seen the game. So this time we're going with Street Kid, which I have not touched. I've touched the other two, and we're playing on very hard because I feel like the game is not a challenge unless it's on very hard.
Ooh, yeah, I can talk all day about the bullet sponge and the.
God, the
ridiculous
bullet
weaponry in this
sponge
game.
bloody kills me.
I've heard that, but what's happened to me is in my very hard file is I picked up a shotgun, no issues ever again. I two-shot everything.
Yeah, I still can't. I picked up a shotgun the other day, and Snake was in there watching me, and we
Yeah.
shot some dude in the head, and it did no
Nope.
damage to him. And I'm
Yeah,
playing on
it's-
hard difficulty. It's weird.
It's really strange because I've heard that from Systemic as well, and I have no issue with enemies anymore. I literally walk up to them and two-shot them.
Yeah, I've got a sniper rifle that you charge up, and it just does like 3,000 crit damage on people's heads, and it just one-shots everything if I can pull it off.
Yeah, that's the if you can pull it off because this
If
game
you can pull it off.
stupid
Yeah.
as fuck artificial gun sway because it's got to be challenging to scope in. It's like, okay, if you sway that much while aiming down the sight, you have no business holding a rifle. It's awful. It infuriates me every time I watch it. Oh god, dude.
What are you talking about? You have to run against the wall and jump off and do a 360 and no scope him in the head.
No, it was bad because
No.
I was playing it a couple days ago, and I had the sniper rifle that I was just talking about. Remember? And it was like point blank at the back of the head of a cop, and it like swayed right off to the right a little bit, so it missed the shot point blank. And I was just dying. I was like, "Why is this happening right now?"
Speaking of
It
cops,
was so bad.
have you noticed that if you help out the cops, you can't kill them anymore?
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, it
if
blocks you.
If you get into like the gang wars, it shows that you've like picked a side, I guess, and the cops just leave you alone, and you kind of can't do anything to the cops. But as soon as you leave that area, the other cops can still mess with you, and you can still mess
Yeah.
with them. It's
Also,
just
you
those
say-
ones that you help.
You say that you've picked a side, but you can't help the gangs. You can only shoot the gangs.
Yeah, which is kind of disappointing a little bit because you really should
Kind
be
of.
able to just kind of choose. Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
should be
feel
able
like
to
it's
just
my
kill
choice.
everybody and anybody.
Right.
V with Vendetta. V for
Just goes straight
Vendetta.
anarchy mode and you
Hey,
just
don't be spoiling the game. Plot twist, it's a simulation where you're Vendetta.
Oh my gosh. Actually, that kind of seems about right. But yeah, also speaking of cops, can we talk about how if you like accidentally shoot a citizen, cops just suddenly appear behind you?
Oh yeah. There's no like crime reported or anything like that. It's like, no, we know.
Oh, it says crime reported, and then the cops just like,
Boom.
oh my wa,
Yeah.
mo shinderu.
Yeah,
Nani?
nothing personnel, kid.
There's
Hey,
no
what's coming on my
actual-
jetpack?
Yeah, there's no actual chase AI or search AI in the game, so the game just spawns them 20 feet behind you every time.
I was like on a rooftop, and I was like, oh, okay, let me see if I can't just snipe people off this rooftop, because I used to do that in Grand Theft Auto to get like 5 stars and stuff like that. And it's like, let me do this here on this rooftop, and the rooftop is empty. It's just me. The only way up there is an elevator you got to take. So I like shoot, and then there's 4 cops on the rooftop with me, and I'm like, this ain't good.
No. It's just, I would
Then I
say
died.
it feels unfinished, but it doesn't feel like it's even included. So
It
I
feels
don't
more
think
like an
there's AI.
afterthought. Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not even just the AI thing, but I feel like the cop thing is just kind of like,
I
oh,
think
you
that's
did bad, so we're just gonna overwhelm the crap
because
out
if
of
there
you.
was actual AI in it, it could do like Grand Theft Auto's San Andreas, 14 fucking years ago, where they actually have a search algorithm and will try and find the suspect. This game doesn't have anything. You have walking and you have like just
Death.
standing AI for anyone else. All the NPCs have the same track, and the cop ones, it doesn't give them that AI even because it's not there. So the only thing they can do is just hard spawn them behind you, because then they already see you and they just attack.
Yeah, but you've got to deliberately code it for it to hard spawn. That's kind of my point. Why I
Right.
think that part is more by design and not so much the AI part.
I think that's what I'm saying though, is it's designed because they realize it doesn't have AI, so fuck it. How do you make it simulate that it has it? Well, we'll just hard spawn it and be like, oh look, they found you. Ho ho ho. Gotcha. You can't hide in the future. Teleport us or something. I don't know.
I guess it could be that, or it could be more of like they really don't want you just going around shooting up the city, and they kind of want to herd you into a story. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit weird. I'm kind of hoping it's something that does change as the game evolves.
Yeah, but the also the counter to that is you could basically just have it so you can shoot anybody, but you get absolutely destroyed for doing so. Like the cops could be like 2 stars, and then 3 stars they bring in that like unique squad or whatever that takes everybody down in like 4 seconds.
I can't even get past 1 star. I swear to God, because you actually get stars in this. Like if you've noticed in your mini map, you've got like stars that stack on top of each other as you commit crimes and you like raise the level and stuff like that. But I can't even get past the 2nd star. Like I'll get to that.
Driving around and hitting people.
It doesn't. No, they don't. It doesn't do anything.
Literally 2 people, and I got a 2-star. I was like, what the fuck? And I didn't even mean to, because the driving is that garbage.
I got nothing like that. I just get like a crime reported and then nothing happens.
We should probably introduce ourselves, because I've just realized we haven't done that at all.
See, that's perfect because it builds up suspense.
Now
they want to know. It's mysterious.
All right, guys, welcome to the podcast. Now, I hope you've
fucking like 10 minutes in.
Keep going. This is good. This is gold.
This is how it works. I'm Shadowmains, one of the 4 people here, and we've got.
I'm Rhea. I'm a variety streamer. You're seeing my gameplay right now. All right, cool. That's all of us.
Next person.
Lazy, it's your turn. I'm still trying to eat this sushi.
Don't all jump in at
Alright, well,
once.
Snake is in the background eating still, even though he told us he was ready.
I'm still ready. I was trying to get lazy. Fuck it, I'll do it since he's dragging his fucking feet. My name's Snake. I'm your resident expert on cars and guns. I'm the layman of this podcast. I like video games and photography. Yo.
I'm lazy and...
Let's talk about our vacation. Why would you do that? I thought that was our secret.
I'm lazy and I like video games and developing them. So, there's that.
I think we all like video games. That's pretty much the point of it.
I'm seeing a pattern.
Jesus. All right. So 3 of us have played Cyberpunk so far. Me, Rhea, and Lazy. Like, what do you guys think? Like overall, what's your feelings about the game?
So, I'm gonna go first because I know I haven't played as much as you two. So, the farthest I've gotten, and it's not spoilery because it's just the title screen, where you play the game and then it just says, oh, here's the game's name, like right after, just a little bit right after that. I'm enjoying it. It's pulled me in story-wise to see what happens. But I can nitpick all day.
Mm-hmm.
I could absolutely do the same. I'm at the same point actually in my main profile. I've only gotten to that point, and I had to put it down. It's a good game, but like you said, there's so much that you can nitpick that it just drags down the overall experience.
Right.
So, like
I can kind of agree with that because I made it to basically the little point after Johnny shows up. And then once he showed up and, all that crap's going down, I'm sitting here just like, I really don't care about the main story at all. Or like what's happening or like any of like anybody's reasons for doing the things that they're doing. And I've just kind of spent the entire time exploring the city and trying not to run over everybody.
Well, the thing is, like, you can say you don't care, but the other thing is it disconnects you so much from the side quests, because the main quest is, I'm not going to spoil too much, but basically you have a limited amount of time to quote-unquote live, and it really puts pressure on you to go, like, you need to fix this right now or else you're done for, and then 2 seconds later you're in the street like, hey, how can I help you? Oh, I need a bowl of soup.
Yeah, and you're just doing typical side questy stuff. It's that Fallout 4. It's that Fallout 4 thing. It's like, yes, I've got to find my child's son, but first let me build this entire settlement up over months and months.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of just a problem with a non-linear game.
Right.
There's no way around that. You can't put an artificial cap on something and try to force the player to do it, and then they can just go build a settlement.
Funnily enough, I'm not super into like Skyrim or anything like that, but I will say Skyrim does a good job of that, where you have stuff that needs to be done, but it doesn't feel like it's the most important thing in the world at that exact moment. Like, yeah, the dragons are coming back, but as you progress through the game and find a dragon, it does a good job of showing you the dragons are coming back by throwing them at you. Granted, Skyrim throws way too many at you, and it makes the big bads of the game seem stupid and boring.
It's not a bug, it's a feature.
Yeah,
It's just,
four times the rendering, four times the gameplay.
you see, it's one of those things that it's literally just. I think the Elder Scrolls games definitely do a thing where it's good that they don't artificially time crunch you by saying, "Oh yes, by the way, you've got 3 days to do this," and then you get back to it in a year. I think they definitely do a good job of it, but Skyrim is just a weird example of that in general. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's odd.
It's driven itself between a rock and a hard place because it wants to force you to keep to a timetable, but at the same time, it's puts you in a quote unquote open world. So it kind of falls apart on the narrative of trying to push but not pushing too hard.
And I think that, from my perspective, I think that's actually because they looked at like Deus Ex, where it is that kind of you're being forced through this, and they wanted to try to give you more of it. Let me explore the world, because that was one of the problems with Deus Ex. You couldn't really explore as much. You could explore a little bit to see your character, but you couldn't really, I want to see what a day in the life of Joe is walking down the street.
Right.
And these little kids are mean. Try talking to the little kids on the street. They're mean.
They are. They're savage.
They're vicious little assholes.
God, Deus Ex is such a good game, though.
I mean, and that's how I got into Cyberpunk, was because I love Deus Ex, and I saw the trailer for Cyberpunk and went, I want to play that. So I'm not coming from the game with high expectations because, well, no one can do fucking Cyberpunk right. That's part of the problem.
I think part of the big issue is as to why a lot of people weren't liking it is people seem to be expecting Grand Theft Auto 6, and it at no point was really going to be that.
No, it's just Witcher with a cyberpunk.
But I think the problem is this is where it comes in. All sides are to the blame for this, right? So you have the internet collective and video gamers in general that have overhyped this game, and CD Projekt Red themselves, who have marketed the dog shit out of this game. They have paid millions of dollars of their $330 million budget in just marketing alone. And they've never once actually tried to fix and manipulate where the marketing's going. So everyone's been free to expect and type, and it's free marketing for itself. It makes sense what to do, but they've driven themselves into a corner now because now everyone expects what they wanted to expect, and CD Projekt Red's not delivering what they've expected. So the collective in general now is pissed. They're pissed.
Yeah, and I feel like part of the issue is the delays. Like, I'm not mad that a company delays a game, but I don't think it's a good idea to delay a game over and over again weeks before it's set to launch. I think that just raises expectations higher and higher.
And I wonder if, let's take COVID out of the picture. I wonder, because part of the reason people are pissed is they're playing it on older consoles, which were going to already run like dog shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wonder if COVID wasn't here and people were able to get their hands on the new consoles, if they would have had a better experience. I mean, there's obviously still some parts that they clearly messed up on, but it's a more polished turd than it would have been.
Yeah, I think that's quite accurate. I think another problem with the game, like when you drag it down to base level, it feels like it's trying to be an amalgamation of too many games and add too many systems that don't go into enough. What the hell just happened there? Okay, that don't go into enough depth.
Yep.
That cop car, I don't know if people noticed it, but that cop car kind of like teleported in and then started Tokyo drifting the other way.
It's not a bug, it's a feature.
Yeah, it's another feature.
Everything's a feature.
Totally unrelated, but related to what we're seeing right now. I love how like docile the police are when they're apprehending someone in any of the cutscenes. It's like, oh, let me just gently pull you out of this car. It's like, what? That's not how this works.
You're like, I need you to stomp on me.
Stomp me, Daddy. It's the only way this can be realistic.
I think the other weird thing for me is like I don't know how to talk about it. You know what? I'm gonna say it. We're gonna spoil up to the intro of the game. When you see that Cyberpunk 2077 screen, we're gonna talk about up to that point. Um, at that point, Jackie dies. I don't
I don't
feel.
like it.
I don't feel. You don't like it. I don't feel anything because the only life path where you've known him for more than 6 months is Corpo. All the other ones, you meet him and he's like, this one he's trying to rob you at gunpoint. The other one he's like, oh, I've never done anything bad. I've never smuggled. How do I do this? Is this okay? And it's like, really? What? It doesn't feel like somebody I'd necessarily find myself in Night City with the entire time.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like it because I liked his character. I
I
don't
did
like
too.
that he just, he seemed genuine. Ironically, he seemed, out of everybody, he seemed the most genuine. Like, he was somebody trying to get by in the city.
I agree, but at the same time, I just didn't have enough time to attach to his character.
Yeah,
Mainly because...
that isn't. Yep.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because the game starts, you're seeing the beginning of the game now, and what's going to happen right after this scene is the game's gonna tell you, now your story begins, and then it's going to say fuck you and skip ahead 6 months.
Basically, yeah. It's I don't know, it's such weird pacing. And you're right, I don't think I felt much for Jackie dying either. The same thing with when T-Bug gets fried. It just
I
doesn't
don't
didn't
care
actually know
about
about that.
T-Bug.
Yeah, it just they're not built up well enough. And that's just bad storytelling, really.
Mhm. I don't like that Dex was shot. I wanted to shoot Dex. That wasn't fair to me.
To be
Yeah, that
honest,
was kind of disappointing too.
what would have been in my opinion, what would have been a good way to do the whole 6 months later thing is do the montage, but cut in at points where V then becomes the player, and you go through that like little bits of those missions.
I mean, so I'm just trying to think how they, because obviously we haven't beaten the game, and they could change things around,
Yeah.
and things could look differently in how they do it, and who knows, it may be at the end not looking like it will be, but I'm just thinking, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out a way they could make it better. Like some of the side quests early on before you go down the main line, they easily could have had Jackie there to help build up, so that
I
you had
agree.
the chance.
I agree. But the other thing I think, or the other reason I think they could have cut through in that 6 month time skip and given you control is they could have had you talking to Jackie, built up character, and they could have taught you basic game mechanics instead of 6 months later, Jackie's now giving you a training chip to teach you things your character should already know.
It definitely suffers from, oh fuck, we're on the crunch writing, like a lot. It's got a lot of missing narrative elements. It's got very forced pacing.
It's almost got a Mass Effect 3 issue.
Yes, exactly. That was literally where I was going with that. They both suffer from the same thing.
Where they've got so much going on that they can't focus.
Right.
And nobody had the balls to take the writers and tell them to step back. It's okay, we could delay it again.
Yeah, I think what do they say the game length was? Like 20 hours, which isn't really that long for an RPG. I don't think it really would have suffered from being too much longer.
Yeah.
No.
Would help, if
Especially
anything.
considering that Witcher is a long ass game anyway. Like all three of them.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
they
definitely used a more fleshed out, longer story.
I think they openly said like they didn't want it to be too long because they felt that enough people didn't finish The Witcher 3, which makes sense. I mean, it was like what 80
Look at
hours for
me,
the main
I
story.
still haven't even finished it.
Yeah, I think the main story was what like 80 hours or something like that, which I think is a bit long. But you got to think about it like there are Final Fantasy games where speedruns of the game are 12 hours. So
Ooh, texture popping.
I don't really think like there's a lot of that. But I don't really think like having the main story of this game being around like 30-40 hours would necessarily be a bad thing for it.
Right.
Oh no, not at all. Not
That's
at
what I was
all.
going to say is it feels more and more like it's suffering from the fact that they wanted to try and appeal to a lot of the people that constantly complained that The Witcher 3 was too long. So, okay, cool. Well, we'll shorten this and add more side shit to it. There you go. well, now it's a rock and a hard place because it both sucks in that aspect. Also,
And the thing
what
is,
fuck?
they could
All
have
these
they
guns
could
are
have
so fucking stupid.
they could have shortened it, and it could have actually been good. It's just the writing would have had to have been really strong at that point, and so far the writing just hasn't been strong at all.
The
Like-
the writing's lackluster at best. And
Yeah,
that's really
like,
bad for a fucking CDPR game.
I felt nothing for Johnny's character, and
Jackie.
you can tell that nobody else felt anything for Johnny's character too,
You mean
Oh,
especially-
Jackie?
Johnny. Yeah.
or Jackie. Yeah, sorry, Jackie.
I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
I
yeah,
like
I didn't know
Johnny,
which one you were
back
talking
off.
about.
No,
Yeah.
hold on. I don't
Back
actually
off
hold
with
on.
my
Let's be real
Keanu.
here.
That's
Let's
half the
be real
budget of the
here.
game. God damn it!
I feel nothing
Worth it.
for Johnny Silverhand at the start of this game. Like, you go through that little flashback where you see like he's doing stuff, and it doesn't make any sense right now. Like, his motives don't make any sense.
Yeah, but they're
Well-
probably gonna expand upon it.
Maybe later.
They
should
they
play it.
essentially set him up as like the big bad guy, like he's a terrorist basically.
Let's do this.
Yeah,
I think they actually call him a terrorist.
They do.
yeah, they do.
Pardon me one sec, people on people watching the game, so I'm gonna close the game real quick. I can't save the game. Okay, apparently you cannot save the game in the first
And
mission.
you gotta get to your apartment first.
God
from the
fucking
first
damn it.
mission.
Yeah.
When was the last autosave?
The safe spots blow.
Yeah, the save spots are bad.
Like
Here, I have-
earlier, I was trying to finish up so I could go tend to my daughter, and it wouldn't let me get through because it's also back to back, and I'm like, really.
I have an autosave right when I got out of the car. The reason I'm reloading the game is because I've recently reloaded all of Windows, and I forgot to turn off the Steam overlay for games. So you guys are seeing like pop-ups and shit. So I'm gonna get rid of those real quick.
No worries, no worries. But yeah, no, the story is very weak. The writing makes no sense in a lot of places. Even the side mission writing, like the side mission stuff is supposed to be like CD Projekt Red's strongest like aspect of them. And
side missions in the Witcher series, they told their own stories. They were great.
these have been weak. Like, these have not been good missions at all.
No,
Some of them have actually been pretty interesting, but I wouldn't say that they were like compelling. But there was one that I actually watched Shadow's friend, now my friend Systemic, play through the mission, and they literally ripped voice lines from Portal, and it didn't. It was like, I guess it was supposed to be an Easter egg, but it didn't land for me. It more just felt like V was talking to a wall because they didn't even get Ellen Page to re-record anything. It was just straight ripped from Portal. So it just felt like he was talking to a flat wall that wasn't really responding to him.
Jesus.
And I don't know if either of you guys have gotten to that bit. I won't spoil what the side quest is because it is kind of funny. But when I say rip from the game, I mean literally like first you'll be killed and then there will be cake. That was part of the side quest, and it was just so out of place.
God, that doesn't even feel good. That just feels cringy.
It
Oh,
kind of was, yeah.
that's just dumb. Fuck.
And the thing is, like, Ellen Page has no problem coming back. I'm pretty sure that's her name. I hope I'm not saying it wrong. I hope it's not like Ellen something else. But as far as I know, she has no problem going into studios and they're like, hey, we want you to be Gladys again. Because she did that for Pacific Rim.
Yeah. It feels more and more like they tried to connect to other parts of pop culture and video game culture, and it just kind of, there wasn't an effort made to do it. It was just kind of a Hail Mary kind of thing.
Stuff like that, in all honesty, kind of makes me feel like this is Ready Player One, the game.
Yeah. Yes, that's fucking perfect because it is. Fuck. Buy our product. Look at all these references and shiny looks. Whoa.
It really does feel exactly like that. And the worst part is, like, the gameplay itself, I know other people have been saying they're not really liking the gameplay, but personally, I'm enjoying the gameplay quite a bit.
I hate the gunplay.
The
Which
gunplay's
is
dog ass.
Driving
hilarious.
sucks.
I've
Yeah,
liked the
driving-
gunplay
oh my
so
God.
far.
I don't even like getting on. Driving's bearable in the motorcycles, but everything else, it's just awful. But the only thing that I like gameplay wise from this game so far is literally just the stealth and hacking, and that's it.
That's just
Like, the
Hacking could be a
gunplay-
little bit better.
The hacking could definitely be a little bit better, but I feel like it's more solid, especially when you're mixing it with stealth, than just trying to go in and shoot stuff. And I think it's just because for me the gunplay feels floaty. You're moving around too much, even when you're sitting still, even when you're in cover, and you shouldn't be moving around like that. You're floating side to side way too much. The accuracy is just not there. I had an assault rifle that I was playing with Snake yesterday, and we were shooting people at point blank without aiming down the sights, and it was missing point blank because the spread on the guns is just ridiculously unrealistic and not good at all. Like, it doesn't feel good. And I think that's my big. If they can improve that aspect, especially considering how much gunplay has been used so far in this, like, because that's the only thing you can do. You're either loud or quiet, right? Like, those are the only
pretty
two
much.
options you basically get in this. So 9 times out of 10, you're gonna end up messing up, and you're gonna have to go in shooting somehow, right? And it just, for as much as the gunplay gets used, and them saying like, oh yeah, you know, it's not really that big of a, you know, that was one of the things I was reading in the reviews. The people were like, yeah, the gunplay is really not that big of a deal. There's more focus on dialogue and stuff like that. I'm like, boy, I've been shooting so many damn people in this game. I feel like that's not right at all.
I feel the
Like,
exact
it
same
would be
way. Like,
better.
I watched a couple videos where people are like, the gunplay is there, but it's not really the focus. And I've been playing the game, and I'm like, I feel like I've been doing nothing but shooting.
Yeah, just fully. This is more shooting than I think I've done in Grand Theft Auto.
Also, I just want to point something out on the stream real quick.
The texture.
Again, something very nitpicky, but yeah, the texture. Like, sure, it's real small. It's not something that everybody would notice, but it's one of those things that when you do notice, it really just pulls your attention away from the
What do
game.
you mean don't notice? You can
Well,
zoom in.
Think
This
about
is
it this
true.
way.
That's
This
a
is
big
the
part
look
of it.
of a $330 million game. I
Yeah.
feel insulted. So,
Yeah,
and
like-
this is the other point I wanted to make while we're talking about gunplay. This game suffers from Borderlands syndrome really, really badly. Borderlands is all about very high octane, fast gunplay. Everything's statistic based. It's a lot of fun, and the game doesn't take itself seriously, so it works. Your gun is literally made to shoot other guns. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense in a mechanical standpoint. It doesn't need to. The game's aware of it. You're aware of it as a player. Everybody's happy. This game, on the other hand, is trying to take itself and present itself very seriously. But to have a firearm that has a spread at 6 inches of over 2 feet, it just feels awful. It doesn't feel good. The guns just feel bad, and you have to use them most of the time. Everybody talked about how you can do a pacifist run. I don't think you fucking can. It doesn't
It
feel
would be-
possible to own this
it
game
would be
without someone
really
trying to
hard.
murder you.
So
So-
there's an option. You can get a mod later on if you're lucky enough to find it, that you can actually make your guns non-lethal, so it shoots non-lethal rounds and it just knocks enemies out instead.
Well,
But you've got to find it. Like, I haven't actually been able to buy it anywhere. I was just magically able to pick it up. But I think this is something that we talked about before. I think the only way you can actually do a pacifist run of this game is if it's in the main story. Like, any of the side missions and stuff like that, there's some places that it gives you.
you can't.
Yeah, you have to shoot people. Like, there's
Right.
no other way around it.
Another thing that I noticed, and it's probably a mod later on, maybe, I don't know, but I'm seeing Rhea's stream of it, and you know, if you wanted to do a pacifist in like
Shit.
Deus Ex, they've got the I think it's Deus Ex, but like you can see your enemies through walls, and I'm like, well, that would be, you know, this is cybery, that would make sense.
So you could do that in this, but you have to scan them and then mark them first to be able to
yeah,
do
and that's
that.
dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least that's how it is right now. I don't know if
Because
there's a mod that
but in
changes
brain
that later,
dances,
but-
remember, it picks up everything.
Hey,
Yeah, but I
that's
think
a good
the
point.
Yeah.
point of
Yeah.
that is like doesn't it pull information? I haven't gotten to the brain dances yet, but doesn't it pull information from like everything?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like pulls information from sight, thermal,
That
and
things you
sound,
wouldn't-
like the big ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like cameras and stuff too. I mean, it would make sense if your eyes did thermal and stuff, but like I guess the implication is that you don't have that technology, but you really should.
Right.
I feel like the other thing is, why is the first big mission to go pick up a drone or like a little whatever it's called, and then you don't actually get to use any of them ever?
Yeah,
like,
that
I feel
was
like you
annoying.
should.
I was like,
Yeah,
you're
I-
making a big deal about me getting this, and then we're just not gonna like let me actually use it, other than, hey, click and go here.
Yeah, I didn't really like that part either. I was like, this would have been cool if we could have just like had it as like a buddy or something. Could have popped him out, had him do stuff, but no, he gets relinquished too. He's just gonna eat some dude in a chair in a tower, and then that's it.
I also feel like You guys are talking about pacifist runs. I don't know that that's possible in very hard mode because I can't run in this place with melee. I just get gunned down.
Well, you got to use hacking. So that's the thing that I was talking about. Like with the sneaking, you have to do like a combo of stealth and hacking at the same time. So it makes that's why I like the stealth in this a little bit better, just because you have to kind of mix it up and you've got to really analyze your surroundings and stuff like that and take advantage of what's there in order to pull off those kinds of runs. But I just gave up on trying to do it. I just shoot everybody at this point.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but I'm watching the stream and it's so funny because he just flags you in the face with his pistol trying to tap on your fucking shoulder, and I'm just immediately like screaming in my head like, "Muzzle down, asshole!" It's just so many years of training just popped up there. And I'm like, oh fuck.
See if I can get through this room.
It's so rough.
It's bad.
Yeah, you've
It's
got to like scan and
disappointingly
then find
bad.
like a
I think
radio
that's
or
why
something.
it's so infuriating because we've expected so much better. Even without the overhype, they should be just capable of doing better than this. We've all played Witcher. Fuck, the first game was great writing, but awful game. But the second two were great. Why the fuck can't we just have that with fucking FPS Cyberpunk? We were almost there.
I'm gonna tell you what you can do here, Rhea. Go distract the enemies and then go right to where Jackie is,
Yeah.
and then they'll walk out, and then you can take out 2 of them that way.
Oh, how was I supposed to know that?
You're
yeah,
not.
it's- you just fail at it is what they want you to do. They want you to try and fail
Right.
or think through stuff even harder. Because Jackie is just kind of like tells you just like let him pass, and then you sit there and like, okay, well, how?
Oh, I
Yeah.
pulled him back because I didn't even know Jackie was gonna grab him.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too is Jackie will sometimes help out, which is why I kind of do wish she would show up on more missions because,
You know,
or
that
would
would
have
be
showed up on more missions. Yeah,
kind of fun.
because I did. I actually really liked his character when I first met him. I was like, oh, this dude's got like charisma. He comes off as the super happy dude. He just, you know, he just all around kind of guy that you actually want to hang out with, and then he just gets relinquished to absolutely nothing in the end.
And then they
The
kill
writing
him.
for Jackie is really, really bad because they've spent all this time building him up and trying to make you attached, which doesn't work with a fucking time skip and a montage. But it suffers again from another game that does it, Last of Us 2. It tries to subvert the expectations. That's right, this main character he's brutally killed in front of you. Haha. It's like, well, it doesn't matter because I like the character, but I'm not attached. You've not driven that at all in this game. It doesn't fucking matter. I've already gunned down 40 people just getting to this fucking car. Why would I be any kind of sensitive to this dude dying too?
The thing is I think at that point I wouldn't even say he just died brutally. It was just kind of disappointing.
Yeah, it tries to do the whole he bled to death in the back of the car and you watched him die and you talk to him like it's some kind of 80s Rambo movie where he's talking to his squad as they die in his arms. It's like, it doesn't fucking matter because again, you're completely desensitized to death at this point in this game because you've just murdered 40 fucking people and you don't have an attachment to this guy because you had a time skip. I can't attach to somebody after a fucking montage.
I will say the montage was pretty fun to watch, but they could have handled it a little bit better. But yeah, I definitely think that this game's biggest issues has definitely been the overhype that's come around it. Is definitely done it no services at all.
But not at all.
Oh,
Nice.
What? He's right in front. What?
yeah, the overhype for this game has been ridiculous, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I was excited for it too, especially when they announced it back in 2012. I was like, oh, this is gonna be
Where did he pull that gun out of?
his butt cheeks. He had it in
He
his
just
butt
pulled
cheeks.
an LMG out of his ass, like, all right, let's go.
Oh, there's another problem I have with this because you can't even use that gun in the car chase, and it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, there's no shooting while driving, which really defeats half the purpose. And also the trailers that showed us shooting from a car. Thanks,
You still
Project
get to,
Red.
You
still
get to
get
shoot from a car.
but only as a passenger.
Mm-hmm. Well,
if you're
in,
anything else but a
if
passenger,
you remember
don't
some
in
of
get
the
a
to.
original
single-player
trailers,
game.
it showed us we could be able to shoot from a car while driving using an SMG. It was
Oh,
a big
did it?
part of
I
it, actually.
don't remember that
Oh,
part
I
actually.
thought I turned that off. Can I skip this for
Nipples!
Yeah, I'm gonna skip that because I don't know how YouTube is gonna handle that.
Oh,
Yeah, we can
YouTube
blur it.
probably won't like that. Who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll blur it.
I thought I
Just put a
turned that
black
off.
screen over and be like, can't show this on a Christian Minecraft server.
basically
yeah,
all
no.
that's for the people on YouTube, all that's happening, or people that haven't played this rather, all that's happening is we're confirming that this is our target.
And an ice
And-
bath.
And
Somebody lost their
yeah, and
kidney.
we're downloading some kind of like information we needed from her, and she needs to stay alive as well.
Just like
I am
Cancun.
gonna have to. We are gonna have to like black this out or something.
Yeah, you can like
Two
blur
sips
the
at the
something
bar,
there,
and
it should be enough.
all of a sudden you're missing a kidney. Fun times. Stab! Oh look,
Yeah,
Pulp
just-
Fiction.
I mean, I'm also looking at this and going, they never really explained what you do in the beginning. Like, what is your role in Night City? Are you just somebody that takes random jobs? Are you somebody that saves people? What is your role in this?
Right.
So as a
They kinda
street
just-
kid, as a street kid, you're a mercenary, but they do a really bad job of setting you up as a mercenary.
Well, like,
That's because-
I'm playing as a nomad, and I was just like, okay, so I'm going to the city, but like, why?
I just wanted to see if you could do it.
you can absolutely jump off the edge, and it's hilarious. You might be able to throw her off the edge too. I don't know actually.
No,
Now
I
I
don't
gotta
think
find
you can.
out. I gotta find out now.
Because I don't think you can put her down.
You should be able to if you hit like
No, you
B or
can't.
right click. Oh, can you not?
Nah.
Unfortunate.
Look at him
Man,
boob
holding the
physics.
game.
Yeah. Also, you just said look at this boob physics, but boy, does it really feel shoehorned in.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Korean MMOs have better fucking boob physics than this.
Well, here's the thing, right? Is they say that this is a more mature game, and you're supposed to have like all of these tits and ass just everywhere, and this is really the only time that you see it,
Right.
unless you like to go into your inventory and take all your clothes off to do stuff. You don't really see nudity anywhere else in the game, except in like the occasional advertisement that shows a butt.
Yeah, I think even I've seen the clip of one of the popular streamers accidentally doing a gay sex scene. But you don't see any of them like at all.
Yeah, it's just I don't even understand the point of it. Like there's literally they put in the thing, oh yes, you could have the giant dong. You're gonna be able to put on giant penises in this game, and then there's literally no point to it except to just say your character has the biggest penis in the game.
I
And
would
that's it.
argue that it feels more in place in Grand Theft Auto 5 because you can pick up hookers in that game, and basically all that happens is you go somewhere and then they're like, all right, and then the car shakes and it's like, haha, funny, and then it's done.
Yeah,
But it feels more in place in that, like it feels more part of the world in that game than
Yeah,
it does in this.
in universe in that series.
Yeah.
yeah. They even have a part in the street kid thing where you go to a club that's supposed to be, I guess, like their equivalent of the strip club, where you get like a brain dance to basically have strip club stuff done, like lap dances and stuff like that. But they're like they explain it to you how all this stuff works, and it's like, oh yes, don't touch the models, just walk up, say that you want to do this model, go get your brain dance chip, yada yada yada, and then you don't even do any of that. Like there's none of that in the game at all, and they just wasted all this time explaining to you how it works. It's
I
really
also-
weird.
I
Some of
also
the-
hate the elevator buttons.
Oh yeah,
They are so picky and so finicky when they give you options. It is annoying. I just saw that and I just had to be pissed about it.
Take me down. Take me down.
Oh.
I just like to imagine that that's how you activate elevators in the future. Is you just beat the shit out of the control panel.
That's how you make it speed up. The harder you punch it, the faster it goes.
Punch me harder, senpai.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, this is the
Oh,
game is
yeah,
definitely
can't drive.
suffering from the overhype heavily on this.
So the other thing I've noticed too is if you guys have picked up on the fact that every single time you get out of a car, almost all of them, except for like some of the high-end sports cars, have door handles rendered, right? Never once has one been used. It's just something. It just
Well-
irritates the shit out of me.
The thing that irritates me is you eventually get in a car that drives you yourself.
Mhm.
So why are we driving? Period.
Well, that's the high-end car.
I don't care.
Oh
Hi.
yeah, and the steering wheel doesn't fucking move at all, which is another thing that pisses me the fuck off.
Look at that! Wow, so intuitive, Jackie. You are the world's greatest driver.
You know what's sad? The Grand Theft Auto steering wheel moves.
Oh yeah, no, like Grand Theft Auto it's an arcade like the racing is very arcadey, but even still, it's one of the most realistic like arcade racing games there is.
Really good. The physics on it is good. The tire travel's good. You know what? Grand Theft Auto 4 was one of the most realistic driving games out there for a long time. It was great. Cars
Well,
had
except for the
weight
fact
to
that
'em.
the cars drove on ice all the time.
Well, exactly, but the fact that they had weight to them, like if you ever played the ultra, what was the mod? It was the mod that made everything photorealistic and re-upgraded the physics engine. It was fantastic. It was so fucking good because it used everything that was already in the game. It just fine-tuned it and it was fine. Like, why the fuck couldn't they do that with this game? Everything's slow and chunky and clunky and it's just miserable.
I wanted to see if that would work. Oh, I died. I was wondering if we
no.
could get through that without me shooting.
Yep, there is no way to get through that without shooting somebody. That's the other thing about this too.
Cyberpunk Call of Duty, but the gunplay's not good, the story's ass, and it looks way better than Call of Duty though. Fantastic looking.
That's where I think they really focused
That
everything.
guy's gone.
And I think I have a theory behind why some of the issues that happened. I think Nvidia approached them and said, "We're doing ray tracing, and we need you to make this as realistic as possible. Screw everything else. Here's a lot of money."
That would make sense. I could totally see Nvidia doing that.
Yeah, you're right. You have to kill
100%.
somebody.
Yeah, you can't get through this without actually killing them on this part.
Right.
I've tried shooting out the tires. I've tried
Which is
like,
stupid.
already-
You should be able to shoot out the tires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
Something
That's
so basic. Like
it's just
when
awful.
you're revived and you're with what's his face, and you got the guys on the motorcycle coming after you. I was like, all right, I'll just shoot the tires because I don't know, it's a fucking motorcycle. You shoot the tires, you ain't going anywhere, buddy. Nope.
The fact that this game also suffers from the the PlayStation 2 era games where if your car took damage, the wheel wells catch on fire. That's the
Every time.
damage show on the fucking cars in this, and it infuriates me.
What are you talking
Oh.
about? It's a feature.
It's
God,
even
dude.
funnier when you go to shoot somebody in their car and it like pops up the tutorial. You are triggering up like crime stuff and
Yeah.
things like that.
Also,
the
look at
wheels
how
come
slow.
exploding out of the car when you shoot somebody and that pops up. And it's
Am I getting him?
so
Can't even
hilarious.
tell.
Yeah, see,
And then
that's
it's
some
how
bullshit right
slow.
there. Where
This
you're
high
shooting the
speed-
driver and
Yeah.
it doesn't do anything until they crash. And
And
it's
I
it's
like,
couldn't even tell if I was
bad.
hitting him.
20 miles an hour in a high-speed gun shoot. Like,
And-
come on, man.
well, the problem I had with that was they told you literally shoot the driver, and you're shooting
Yeah.
the driver. Only for them to crash. And it's like, really? Why am I shooting the
Yeah.
driver if you're
And,
gonna
and
make me
they don't
crash?
even crash because they're wounded. They crash because they're distracted from you shooting them.
Ugh.
This is like the
I will
most
say, something really good that I like about this game, the music is absolutely on
Oh.
point.
I love the music.
The music is good.
Yeah, they spent a
Music's
third of their
good.
budget on the music. It better be good.
The other third went to
It's
Keanu
song.
Reeves, and then the other third went to Crunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That delicious, delicious Crunch.
So did
Something
you
that definitely needs to die, by the way.
CD Projekt Red is no longer going to tie in bonuses to game ratings anymore.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
such a weird like bonus thing from the get-go. Anyway,
Right.
like
That's
I
a
read it and
lose-lose
they were like,
situation.
well, I read it and they're like, yeah, they were like bonuses were handled by team leaders who would give people coins with the company logo on it who they felt deserved a bonus, and then they would get the bonus after the game came out and met like certain criteria and stuff like. And just reading through that, I was just like, what? This doesn't even make sense at all for
That is-
any reason.
That is some high-level executive trying to pat them on the back saying, you're doing a good job, even though you're going to get fucked over when this is released.
Yeah, it was such a weird setup for a bonus plan that it literally made no sense even as a bonus plan.
I do just want to point out how good of a scene that is, because it really does, like, it does a great job to show you who Jackie is, what his personality is, and how V kind of relates to them. But, like, it's really good character building for a character that's gonna die in, like, 5 minutes.
Right.
And it's, like, the only bit of character building we actually get for Jackie. That and him talking to, what's her name?
Misty?
Yeah, Misty. That's, like, the only real character building we get for him.
I mean, so just before you see Dex. I know he's on. If you see him, he's on the phone with his mom, and you know, you see him talk about how he's worried. His mom's worried about him, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna die. You guys are terrible at foreshadowing.
But just don't say anything.
I mean,
So
it doesn't
there-
matter if you do or not.
The game also does that weird thing where like sometimes it's like you have limited time options, but if you don't say anything, from my experience, when I haven't said anything in those instances, I've died.
I haven't had that happen yet, but I've just had like the conversation, just like, well, for you too then, and then just kind of carry on.
The one time I didn't do it, it was talking to Royce, and I didn't answer him, and he just decided to shoot me in the face.
Oh.
Yep.
Huh.
So
But that
it was
one
like
actually makes
it was like
sense.
I mean, kind of,
Because
yeah, but
He gets really uppity and he's pissed off, and you kind of expect it.
it does. But my thought was I was expecting the gunfight to break out because I was being a dick to him. He just straight up shot me, and I had to reload. Real water.
Real water, only 99 euro dollars a gallon.
You mean Eddie's?
I mean,
as two people
so
call them.
Eddie's for short.
This
but
part
I
makes no
think
sense. Let me do this really obnoxious going around to park for you just to get out.
Yeah,
'cause you
and
do
then when
that.
you try
You
driving, the
drive
game
away.
is so clumsy that you can't even park like this.
Yeah.
I
You
haven't
get the
actually
wall
driven with a
time.
controller yet.
It's not any better than a keyboard and mouse. I actually think keyboard and mouse is better driving in this game,
Really,
to be
because
honest.
keyboard and mouse is not good.
Yeah,
Somehow worse, and that's just disparity.
yeah. I don't
Oh.
know. Maybe you'll have a different experience, but I think keyboard and mouse driving is much better than with the controller.
Well,
Because I've got one
as
that's
your
it's the side. Yeah,
as your
it's our
resident,
resident
racer.
Grand Theft Auto racer.
For people who don't know, I'm part of the 5M racing community. Do lots of racing on there. I'm not fast or anything like that, but I do it quite often, so I at least know how the game works and handles.
I drag race and used to street race in real life, so I don't race a whole lot in video games, unfortunately. Ayo.
I do kart racing, but unfortunately,
haven't done that.
with COVID, I haven't been able to do that in a long time.
Fuck,
Go
that's
take a
fun.
shower where you just, get your clothes wet.
Oh yeah, you don't get undressed or anything like that. Yeah.
For no reason. Let me just.
Who showers?
Oh
like
no, they
that,
are
too?
off. They are off apparently.
Oh, when I did it, the clothes were still on. So that's funny. That's actually kind of funny.
Also, these fucking things everywhere. I don't know why, but these are everywhere.
Yeah. They don't
Yeah, I
look
don't really
good.
get that either. Yeah, makes you feel like some sort of 70s.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's very 70s, 80s. Well, that has no business being in the future.
Maybe.
Then again,
it's-
what do I know? I'm not in the future.
Also, like they give you a wardrobe, but then you never get to use it again after you take that stuff out of it.
Yeah, you got to like go and put the items in the item stash. It's where all your guns are. So basically, you got to come to this room and then load it all up into here if you want.
Well, this makes sense for the guns, but like you can't put clothes anywhere. You just have to keep them on you.
No, you can put them in that item stash.
Can you really? I haven't tried putting anything but
Yeah,
guns
you
in
can
here.
put it's literally just a general item stash that they have in there. You can literally just dump it all in there.
I don't think I knew that.
I do want that
Cool.
room now.
But also, like, they have all these cutouts on the walls and none of them ever get used.
Yeah,
It's such a minor thing, and I know it would be kind of hard to add in, but it would
It
be
wouldn't be that
really
hard.
cool to see.
it really wouldn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
pretty simple.
it's just something that they could fill up, but they don't, and I don't know
Okay,
why.
okay. The Division 2 can put stuff up like that. If they can do it at Ubisoft, Cyberpunk should be able to do it in a fucking
I
second.
just like when you look around at the apartment. There's nothing in there that really tells you who V is. There's
Right.
nothing that sticks out.
Just hop
Yeah,
in the back.
it's kind of bland. It's kind of boring. Nothing really there.
Get
I
the
don't know.
same, like 3
There's al-
books.
Yeah, there was also the thing where it's like if you pre-ordered, you got like some sort of plush that sat in your room as well or something like that. And I think I see where the plush is, but that kind of made me feel like you're gonna be able to customize your apartment a little bit. and there's none of that. So I think the plus just kind of sits on the couch and you can't even interact with it. It's just a really weird thing to add as a pre-order that didn't need to be a part of a pre-order bonus at all.
Right.
Also, I should probably mention that the character here is completely randomized. I just let the game do whatever. Also, I kind of don't like that. Like, if you don't have a nice looking option, like that looks stupid, and I would never wear that. But I have to because it gives me more armor.
Yeah, I haven't actually checked to see if there's a way to turn head armor off in the game or not.
Yeah, it's like Monster
Probably
Hunter,
not.
where like if you have garbage armor, you just turn off the head armor.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I just
Was this-
turn it off in general, even with good armor. I
Is
just
this
don't
in
like
here
wearing the
for
helmet.
you guys? I've never seen this.
Yeah, I've used it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't get that as a nomad.
I picked it up off of somebody. It's actually really fun, but it
Well,
sucks.
This one was that's Lazy's kid, by the way. This one was in my my closet.
Huh. I don't remember checking my closet. It may have been in there, and I just didn't really realize it.
Yeah, I don't think I paid attention to what I pulled out of the closet either. I think I was
What
more
else do I
shell shocked by how bad that opening was.
it was pretty bad, yeah. Yeah, Systemic makes a bit of fun of me now because I yelled about the 6 months later thing a bunch. Because boy, is it really bad. Personally, I think that's super heinous that you're like, yeah, the story's about V becoming a really good mercenary, and then you skip the origin of him becoming a mercenary, or them becoming a mercenary.
Well, the thing is, you were a mercenary before that too. It's just kind of like you missed this whole 6 months of him building this friendship with Jackie.
Well, you weren't
Yeah.
really a mercenary, you were more of just...
You
Well,
were a gun for hire, but you were still
Not-
a gun for hire because
But
when you run into what's his name, Pops, before like all of that stuff happens, he's
Well, as-
talking about you left the city for Atlanta and then you came back and stuff like that, and you've worked with him a few times.
that's the thing, as a street kid, like, you've gotten into trouble and you've done, like, gang stuff before, but as a
Yeah.
nomad, you've done smuggling
It
and that's
has no
about it,
point.
and... Yeah,
Yeah.
as a nomad, you've done smuggling and that's about it, and as a corpo, you've done nothing. You're,
Nothing.
like...
Corporate.
the corpo beginning is go kill this person because they're screwing up our thing, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to kill them. I really shouldn't do that. Even Jackie, who's your lifelong friend, is like, now they're having somebody kill you, and next, or they're having you kill somebody, and next they're gonna have somebody kill you. You gotta stop doing this stuff.
Dude, that's the other thing, related but unrelated. Like, just looking out the window and then seeing the trailers and then like everything this game's based off of, like just canon wise and sci-fi wise, there's nothing in the city or the skies that goes on. Who sleeps like that? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Like the skyboxes are so fucking empty. You see,
I
like,
could
one
look
car
out the window, but I couldn't see 10 feet in front of me because I'm on
Listen.
console vision.
This has nothing to do with how good or bad the game is, but oh my god, would sleeping like that be the most uncomfortable thing in the world?
break your back, even if you had a cybernetic back.
Yeah.
Get your beauty sleep. No matter.
Oh man, it's just. I have a lot of hope that they're gonna fix stuff.
I love that you get a virus from that operation that doesn't take effect till tomorrow. Don't worry, guys. You have a virus, but it doesn't start for 24 hours.
It did pop
Yeah,
up
it's really
system
good.
malfunction for a bit, like at the end of the last mission, but then you're just like, yeah, whatever. Ooh, 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 ooh. I wonder if this is gonna happen on this file, because for me, what happens in my stream file is if I bump into anyone, everyone around me cowers and runs away. And I don't mean
Yep.
run into them, I mean bump.
I've had that happen.
Only one way to find out. Do it.
Oh, it looks like it's not happening. Well, okay.
Oh, so
No,
there's
okay, that's good.
there's a side quest that you'll get down here. Not these two, but the cops on the level below that, who are trying to like get into their friend's room, who's a cop. And funny enough, he actually killed himself shortly after our talk with him, Snake.
Oh god, I told you you were being
Yeah.
a dick.
Well, no, because remember I saved scum and went back, and I was like, yeah, you know, the other guys are just assholes. You just got to take whatever time you need, right? And then I think I saw like
I
so
can't
this is
find
a
that.
thing that I'm not sure if it was like a time thing. So if you're like at this point, just kind of keep an eye out for it. but I saw a thing popped up that said go check in on him. And you know, I just was like, oh, okay, I can definitely do that when I'm closer to that spot of the map. And then I was looking,
Whoa.
and you know, that mission wasn't there anymore. But when I went back, you had the big cop who was just out there crying, saying like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you didn't have to do this. It's like it's all my fault and everything." And it's like, oh, well, I think this guy just killed himself. It's like, should I have gone and done that? Was it like a timed optional mission and it didn't show up as a timed optional mission? I didn't understand. But it was just, yeah, you go there and there's just blood everywhere on the outside of the front. Did you throw a grenade? Oh no!
Listen, I don't know the controls on this. They don't even care. They
Oh my god.
That's amazing. Oh, they just stood there. We're like,
The
nothing to
number
see
of
here.
times I have accidentally thrown a grenade is ridiculous.
How do I put guns away on controller?
Double
don't know.
alt on controller, I have no idea.
I
On
don't
keyboard,
know.
it's
Yeah.
double alt.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's double alt, other times it's not. Because I've done double alt and it doesn't do anything.
You've
And
got
I'm
one
like-
star and they're still just standing there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got a weapon wheel? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, if you hold
What
alt
the
down, you'll
fuck?
see the
Where did this
weapon
thing
wheel.
come
Oh,
from?
that's the police spot. That comes after you if you get 1 star.
Yeah, that's how brutal they are.
It's double tap Y on controller.
Those cops are still just standing down there. What the hell?
Oh, come
broken
on.
game.
What?
I don't know where that thing came from.
Yeah, at this point. Oh god, at this point.
I
there's
can't do
definitely-
anything
you
to
can
it.
definitely see. You can definitely see some of the issues that are coming from like crunch
Mm-hmm.
happening on this.
Mm-hmm.
There are bugs and things that probably shouldn't be hit this hard. This game could have definitely used an extra year of development.
There's also no indication that the gun I'm holding is, I can't hack anybody for some reason. But there's no indication that the gun I'm holding is
yeah.
automatic. I just have to try.
Yeah, the game doesn't really it's what your firearms do, which is another like really stupid move, and also the fact that there is no like canceled reload system or anything like that infuriates me. Oh, you stopped reloading this double barrel? Well, now you have to go through the entire reload animation, even though you've already ejected the spent rounds. Oh, it's just small things like that add up to show that the game is not done. It's just not done.
It's really not.
Not at all.
Also,
was
let
rushed.
me do that one more time and just show you how because I wasn't using a shotgun till the end there. Let me just show you how overpowered the shotguns are in the in very hard.
Whoa, B.
I can't. How do I?
Get your beauty sleep?
Whatever.
I don't know, throw a grenade again.
That worked pretty
Oh.
well.
I was trying to cancel the call, but also I noticed something just now is you can't hack people in this part of the game. You just don't have the option. Also-
I think
That
you
makes
can
sense,
only
'cause
hack
you-
enemies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you can hack the police. Period. Because I haven't actually seen
That's-
that pop up as an option.
Why? That doesn't make any sense. Wouldn't the police be like the most modded?
Maybe you would think, but yeah. So far, the only thing I've been able to see is that you can hack like electronics and enemies, like gang members and stuff.
Also, the
And-
game, as far as I know, it doesn't tell you what those icons are. Not those ones. The hang on, I have to. Oh my god, I have to fucking make them go away. I'll show you in a second.
You're just
I
standing
know-
there and they're getting angry at you.
I figured out what they mean because of a friend, but they don't tell you what that means.
Oh yeah.
What it
what-
well, what it means is they use guns.
Are those
Oh,
supposed to be little
okay.
bullets?
Yeah,
I
they're
didn't think
bullets,
that
which
was
means
supposed to
these
be a
guys use
surprise.
firearms. Sometimes it'll be people with a fist or a blade, and it just tells you what kind of weapon they use. I phased through that guy.
Or he phased through you.
But yeah, let me. Hang on. I don't have my gun anymore for some reason.
You gotta re-add it because you died.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, because it just takes you back to your last save where stuff might
I
not
had
have been equipped. It's kind of dumb. There's
I thought I
better
had
ways
it
of
equipped already.
handling it.
But yeah, let me just show you how. What's the smart one do? I think it charges or something.
Uh, So there's the smart gun that if you've got a smart optic, you can just kind of point the gun in any direction and the bullets go to where you want them to go, like to mark targets and stuff. And then you've got like the guns that you can charge for extra damage and You've got guns that you can ricochet the bullets and piercing guns.
Oops.
So, one thing I don't,
I feels that's horribly uncomfortable.
one thing I've realized that I don't like is like when you're getting hacked, it doesn't do a good indicator of who's doing it or what's doing it. It's just
Yeah,
like, oh,
like-
you're being hacked, and you're like, and
They're
the
like-
game literally tells you to stop that person, and you're like, but who?
Yeah.
There's
they're
a,
like, I think when the tutorial pops up, it says pop in your scanner to kind of see like which enemy is doing it. But you're being shot at. You don't really have a lot of time to pop up your scanner.
Yeah, I
In
think
most cases.
to be honest, I think that's a bug with the overall system. Like, I think that system is straight up glitched and doesn't work. Because what happens for me is I go in and it shows me a line to what they see or what they're using to see me. So like
Yeah.
it'll show me they're finding you with this camera, and then I'll take down the camera, and then it'll just freak out and be like, I don't know, they're hacking you from somewhere.
They're still hacking you. I think my
Feature.
favorite thing is it's
Not
just like I was like fighting some enemies and there was no way that they could even see me to hack me because the cameras and stuff were down and the enemies were in like the complete other room and I'm still just being lit on fire. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, why am I overheating? What's going on?
Yeah, they
No,
seem
I've
to be
been
able to
seeing
hack
a
you
lot
through
of that, too.
walls.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so stupid sometimes.
Which I don't have a problem with hacking through walls, but bitch, I better be able to hack through walls.
I mean, yeah, like you can't even do that. You have to see them, so they should be forced to see you too. It just doesn't make
Mhm.
sense.
Going up or down? Oh, this is another thing. This marker
Down.
never works.
Yeah, the markers are the worst.
They're so bad. You gotta.
Alright,
get
I guess
down.
this is where it wants me to go.
It hasn't up. The fact that you walked in the air—that's pretty good.
Oh, look, it's
Oh,
Systemic himself. What's going on,
Well-
dude?
The part that I at least I'm gonna be happy about is even if they decide to just leave it as is, modders will fix 90% of the issues.
I
God,
hope
I
so.
hope so.
I was saying to
Day
Systemic
one,
actually.
modders came out with a bunch of stuff. They were
Really?
not playing around. Yeah,
If
like
this-
the FOV slider fixed.
Dude, if this game gets picked up by modders, like a big modding community like Fallout, this game will be absolutely incredible.
I wouldn't put it past modders to do it. I would do it.
I mean, yeah, they need to do it. There's some stuff that needs to be removed from the game anyway.
I've actually been looking at the Red Dead mods, and there's one that adds like a hunting cart, so you can attach a cart to your horse, and then put animal carcasses in there, so you can actually hunt and get more than 2 animals at a time. Which I think is pretty cool, because I think the cool thing about that game is you can literally just say fuck the whole game, take off everything, and go out into the wilderness and go on a giant hunting trip.
I think my biggest disappointment for this game is the fact that I can't strip down naked and then just run around in boots, butt-ass naked, shooting people. Very disappointed.
So you
Well,
should be
that's
able to
just-
push that person off.
Yeah,
Just
you
wanna-
should be able to
oh,
actually push
we're
people.
close.
What?
Okay. What the hell? All right.
Can I save so I don't have to go through that again?
Yes,
I can.
you
Oh,
can.
thank God.
You can save now.
I just don't want to have to go through that again if I fall.
Hey, friend. Kinda
Yeah,
hot,
you can't
eh?
push people off, unfortunately.
You sure about
I
that?
tried. Yeah, I tried. You could shoot them though. I mean, that'll take them off. Oh, they didn't go off! Get scammed!
When in doubt, nade your way out.
The other person is just there sitting on the corner again. Oh, that's amazing. I know you're going to be able to get like knee mods that'll allow you to jump off of floors like that and not take any damage.
I don't want no
I've seen
damage,
some-
but like legs that prevent me from taking like dying would be quite cool.
Yeah, I've seen some people with mods like that already.
I mean, I wonder how much refinement they're gonna do to this. Like, what level
Oh, no, no,
do you
Also,
do you say screw it, let's go GTA route and just make a lot of it better and more accessible? That if you wanted to run around with your schlong laying around, you could.
can we go back
I
to
don't
the
know why
cop thing
that's-
real quick? Did you guys notice 3 cops came out from this area and now
Oh, yeah.
there's no such
Yeah.
thing as cops are in this area?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was literally on a rooftop with only one access point, and I had cops literally just spawn in an area that they shouldn't have even been able to get to.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope they fix that.
That
Yeah.
was the discussion before, is there's no actual chase AI or cop AI. They just force spawn behind you and then they begin shooting.
It's a clear sign
Yeah.
of crunch.
And God forbid if you're in a shootout with a gang and you accidentally clip somebody on the freaking street, because the cops will show up and they will literally just start shooting at you with the gang standing right there.
Just like real
Like,
life.
They just ignore the gang members and you're the target that they want to take out. It's bad.
Yeah, it's
I
not.
also
It's a
don't
hard
like
fight.
the fist fighting. I don't like the way it's done.
It could be better.
It could be a lot better.
It should be better. That's the thing. With the amount of money and time that's in this game, it should be better. The fact that it's not is horrible.
It's not even just the amount of money. It's, I mean, the people, like the amount of people that they got to work on this. I think they said it was like,
Over 500 people.
yeah, it was like they said the people working on this was 2 times as many that worked on Witcher plus 60%. And, you know, Witcher 3 I think had like 250, 300 people, something like that.
Yep.
Or like close to those numbers, and it was still hugely successful. I mean, it had its issues, but I mean, this is also coming from a company whose very first game was literally The Witcher 1, right? Like that's when they started out. That's why that game was so rough. And then Witcher 2 kind of made improvements, and then Witcher 3 kept the improvements going on. So I expected there still to be some of like that Witcher jankiness in this game, but there's just you could tell that it was either mismanaged and things just weren't happening the way that it should be, which is the whole reason that the crunch ended up kicking off anyway, or they just didn't know what they were going to do with this game, and it's hard to tell which one it is at this point.
Right.
Something that I will point out about this game that I actually really love is the vending machines that you can just go up to them and buy whatever.
Oh, I just love that there's a vending machine in your room.
I
You
didn't
just
notice that,
get an
but I
yeah, it's right by
Like-
your bed. You can just get an extra large burrito while you're in your room.
like this is such a small detail and I love it.
We're just gonna spend all of our money buying extra large burritos. Double XL burrito.
Oh,
my
it's getting
God.
rid of them.
There's worse things to spend your money on.
I think one of the parts that was really disappointing for me, at least from a PC gamer perspective, was HDR. I have an HDR monitor to do this, and it sucked. Like,
I've
just
heard there's so many issues with it.
getting the setting to work was sad. Like, they have it literally one setting that I think it's the white point that it specifically says it's for the UI, but it messes with everything else.
Ugh.
And I'm like, and like if you're in the setting and you look at it, so in other games they show you 2 still images that do not change. No, they do a slideshow.
I
And
didn't
I'm
see
like,
that.
that defeats the purpose of me
Yeah.
setting HDR to work if you constantly change it to another image and then back.
That's dumb and it doesn't make sense.
Can you do that from oh my god.
Ria's like, screw it, grenade.
Can you do that from a fist? Like a Oh yeah, you can. I don't think the game ever tells you that.
Oh.
You can attack from blocking.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. It like tells you that you can counter, but like
I mean,
there's some spots that it really does. They need to fix some of the explanations on, because it was hidden in that that military training software.
I did
you
that,
got.
and I didn't know you could attack from a block.
Yeah,
I knew
it's
that you
part
could.
of the,
I knew you
it's
could
part of the-
counter and block and everything. I didn't know you could attack from a block.
Yeah, it was part of the counter thing. It was like one little snippet. It's just like, you can do this.
Oh, I guess they didn't read it properly because I don't remember hearing that.
It's weird. They're bad. Like, that's what I'm saying. They got to fix some of the explanations for it. Again, rushing through the game. The game probably should have had. You know, it's funny because they announced the game back in 2012, and this is a thing that I've seen a lot of people making a mistake on. And this is something I actually saw a PC Gamer post, and I was like, PC Gamer, you know better than this. Is the fact that everybody's been saying, oh, well, this game's been in development for 8 years, and that's not true. It's not even close to being true. The game's probably been in development for, I would say, at least 4 years at like a minimum, right?
I think they said
What are you
2015 is
talking
when they
about?
started working on
Pre-production
it.
counts as development.
They don't even understand what development means. That's what I hate. That's what irritates me. It's like, oh yeah, well they announced it in 2012. Clearly, it's been in development. It's like if it was in development for that long, Witcher 3 would not be as good as it was. Like they would
I-
have had to split the team up, and then the games would take even longer.
I think they said active development was 2015.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I mean, there's
that's when The Witcher was done.
pre-production- Yeah, there's pre-production stuff that happens, but pre-production stuff isn't development. Like no code got writ until they started working on it after The Witcher was done. Like they did the bare minimum to make that trailer back in 2012, and then that was it.
I mean, that's why I think NVIDIA came and dumped a lot of money to them because of the fact that ray tracing just happened in 2018, and if this game really started in 2015, that's where your cash came from.
Yeah,
Right.
they wouldn't have been able to have just shoved ray tracing in, at that
Into their
point.
engine that they have to
Working on
figure
it,
out.
yeah. If they had actually been working on it from 2012, this game would have been out right around the same time that The Witcher 3 had come out, if not like shortly after it. But I think this is definitely a game that could have done with 1 or 2 more years of development time to literally just kind of build into it, because they were still making a crap ton of money off of the Gwent card game.
Oh yeah,
the Witcher games. I mean, they're still making money off of that stuff.
they're
I mean,
not
they had
starving for
more than
capital
enough
at all.
time.
They're
No,
No,
doing
not at all.
They're making money with GOG. They're fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and GOG too. Yeah, I completely forget that they own that sometimes.
That's the only reason CD Projekt Red is still surviving, because they pulled the Valve approach. They
which is
said,
great.
we'll release a game or two and then we'll go, we need money. Let's
We
sell
need
stuff.
money. But yeah, I don't know. It's just annoying. This game could have been so much better than it is. They could have listened to feedback early on as they were getting it. It's weird.
I wonder if they're going to do any, like they did with The Witcher. You have the 2 expansion packs. I don't remember reading anything about them saying they were going to.
Well, they said that all DLC was going to be free, and that they weren't going to talk about what the DLC timeline was until sometime early next year. So we won't know until, like, I would say earliest middle to end of January. Plus, January 1st rolls around and they go, okay, DLC plan, guys. DLC plan, this is how we doing it.
What are you talking about? There's a news conference on Monday.
You get Cyberpunk 2077 Part 2 happening. The
Cyberpunk
next month,
2078.
2078. You get Cyberpunk 2098. 2100. I don't know. There's they could do so much. This game could have been so much better. It's not saying it's not enjoyable, because I am having fun doing stupid stuff in it every now and then, but like it could have been better.
Oh, without a doubt. And that's the other thing too. Is it deserves better. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I also think their problem is they're trying to do 5 different bloody versions of the game.
Right.
And as PC developers, which that's what they've always been, they should have focused on PC first. Because everything that happened in the PC version falls down, and just not do a PS4 and Xbox crappy X version.
I think that would have actually been better. They should have delayed it for another year and then just not did a last gen version at all.
Well, our savior wants to tell you everything himself. Face to face. No pressure, but whole deal's right on you now.
Sorry about that, by the way. I had to be tech support for a little bit.
Alright, let's hear what old Dex has to say. Set it up.
Huh.
So
Yeah,
not
no,
totally
I don't know.
sure what I missed.
That's my thoughts on this game.
Yeah, that's
I
we'll
mean,
keep this on in the background.
once I get to the end and I've actually played through the main story and do some more side quests, I'll have a better, more well-rounded opinion on it. Just early impressions aren't the greatest.
I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
it to you like this. When I think the latest Assassin's Creed game is better developed and better written than this game, that shows you how underwhelming that this game came out.
Yep. Ubisoft actually doing something right for once. That's terrifying.
Valhalla has actually been a ton of fun, and it's actually been pretty decently written so far, and I'm actually invested in the story. And this one, I literally just don't care.
Let's feel this
I'm just kind of playing it to play it at this point.
Yeah, and I know a
You're
lot of
playing
what
it because you paid money for it.
I know a
Yeah,
lot
that's
of what
true.
we've been saying is
It's
Look,
so
like
chopsticks.
yeah, a
you
lot
got
of
the
what we've
same
been saying.
glitch. I love that.
A lot of what we've been saying is like nitpicky, and I get it, but at the same time, like I said before, there's so much to nitpick with this game that it just takes you out of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you can't insert into something that feels so unfinished and floaty. Like, that was half the fucking point. That was half the selling of this game, was get lost in this open world cyberpunk sci-fi adventure. Well, I can't do that when none of the assets work right. The AI is not existent. The driving sucks ass. Everything about this game just feels broke.
Poppin's terrible.
Oh god, yeah.
I've watched. So you see on the sidewalk where it says walk and don't walk. I've had AI literally stop walking in the middle of it when it changes, and I'm like,
Oh,
that is something
before-
so
before-
easy
oh, wait, no.
to fix.
Yeah, it would be a simple fix, but nah, bug. It's a
If you
feature.
go
Not
back
a
to
bug.
that
feature.
alleyway,
Yep,
hold
like you
on,
said.
let's see if this happens. If you go back to that alleyway, let's see if the guy falls from the sky.
There he is.
Every time I've been, yep, there he is. There he is. I've had it happen like 4 times. I don't know where this guy comes from. I don't know what his deal is, but he has fallen out of the sky for me like 4 times now, and I don't understand what's going on.
There was a random grenade.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a gang fight
a
over
fight
here.
happening. Yeah, there's a gang fight right there. It's just
was
gonna
like-
drive your car up into it.
Hell yeah.
That should have killed him. Doesn't kill him.
Ultimate
It does
weapon.
if you actually hit him with speed.
They're stuck in the area.
What speed? You go 20 miles an hour the entire game, no matter what you drive.
Like I've done it where
I can't get out, by the way. I'm stuck in the car because Jackie's in the car.
Yeah.
I've hit somebody, and the tire marks have literally gone up in the air with the car instead of staying on the ground.
That's kind of
Amazing.
funny. You've been flashed. I think my favorite thing so far is when the dead bodies still taunt you after dying.
If you look at the
I've
map,
literally
that's the
had-
only guy that's left alive.
Yeah, I've literally had it to where I've taken out the enemies in an area, and then I'm still getting voice lines from the body being like, "Hey, go fuck yourself." It's like, "Oh, you're gonna die," and I'm just sitting here like, "You're dead. Your head's on the other side of the freaking, on the other side of the street right now, and you're still just yelling at me from the grave." And it's like, this is impressive, but kind of not the way it should be.
I think it's really funny that I think right now I can just go do whatever, even though Jackie's in my car with me.
Yeah, you could just kind of drive around and wreck stuff up and.
Yeah, there's nothing to stop me from just being like, we're going to the Badlands now.
See, I hate that. The bloom on that coming from the underpass was terrible. That was so overly done. They would give it so much money.
Go off, go off, go off. Yes!
Yeehaw!
Oh yeah,
I can't-
so you
I
can
can't get
actually
out.
swim in this game. Nope, but you're stuck.
Where
Yeah,
are you?
'cause
Let's
Jack-
meet at Vince.
Jackie's
From
Jackie's no
Jack.
longer in the car either. Look, Jackie's gone.
He dipped, he left.
Where
the
are you?
car.
Let's meet at Vic's. Well, I'm stuck in the car because you were in it.
You drove into the water and he said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
It's even better too because there's no damage happening. You're not drowning. You're not,
I'm running out of
suffocating.
oxygen.
Oh, you
okay.
are?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
at the
that's
top.
that little
Bar?
tiny bar at the top.
Wow,
That
so
has-
intuitive.
There we go.
No indication that you're oh. We'll let you
Okay,
live
that
on
one
this
that one was on me. I thought like every other game in the entire universe it was Y to get out. No, it's B.
Why does that hologram look better underwater?
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
And then you come out and it's just like, oh.
That's weird. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Also, this is really annoying.
Spends a
Blub.
lot of money. Look at that water
Blub.
detail.
Yeah.
Blub. Blub. Why do I keep going down? Also, yeah, there's like no waves. This is the calmest ocean I've ever seen. Okay, sure.
All right. So should we talk about the greatest hot topic, the Game Awards?
I
Ooh,
didn't even
yeah,
watch them.
Plenty
You
to
mean-
talk about.
You mean the Last of Us 2 awards?
The Last of
Yeah.
Us Awards. They
Oh,
won every
God.
category they were in, with the exception of, I think, music.
Hey, my car got out of the water. Had a scratch on it. That might not be. I mean, not why. How do I?
Yeah.
I was not
Wow.
impressed, but I mean that's
Me
just how it
neither.
happens, right? The Game
Yep.
Awards have just kind of been like that for the past few years, and it sucks because I actually do enjoy watching them, and it's something that when it happens, I make sure that I do watch it. I mean, it's like every year since 2014, where it's been on Twitch and stuff like that. You know, I've watched it essentially, and I used to watch the old ones that was back in the G4 days and everything, and on Spike TV and all that crap. But like this one, just that's the way it's just been the past few years. It's like one game gets all these categories, and it's like, yeah, if that one doesn't win Game of the Year, you're surprised. And I think that
Right.
happened the last year. Was it last year? Did Sekiro win last year Game of the Year at Game Awards, or was that
I
the
don't
year
remember.
before? Because it was like that, where Sekiro had like a couple categories, and then there was one game that was in one category for like basically all of them, and then it was like Sekiro Game of the Year, and I was actually surprised that it.
Yeah, Sekiro won
Right.
Game of the Year.
Yeah. So this one's just like I knew it was gonna win. Like before it even happened, before we even got into Game of the Year, like an hour into it, I was like, oh yeah, Last of Us 2 is winning this, and I will be surprised if it doesn't. Like I literally would have chosen like Animal Crossing.
Anything but?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would literally chosen Animal Crossing or Hades. I mean, Doom
Wasn't Animal
wasn't
Crossing
terrible
this
but-
year? Oh, you're talking about this year.
for the Game Awards. Yeah. I like Doom wasn't terrible, personally, but it wasn't as good as the first Doom, I feel.
No, not at
And
all.
The Final Fantasy VII remake, even though that was fantastic, I don't think it had nearly as enough hype as like Animal Crossing was getting or like Hades was getting, and they just gave it to The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, because they were paid off. I mean, they were given nice, highly reviews.
I
Is
don't know. I have
Is it ever go back to Cyberpunk real quick? Is it ever explained who Regina is?
No,
She just calls you,
kinda,
right?
She just kind of calls you out of the blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like some cop, and that's all you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even think you actually meet her at all in this game. It's weird.
But yeah, I posted on Twitter like, do the awards really even matter? Cause like what was who won? Ghost of Tsushima won for something, and they
Okay,
were
the
like,
People's Choice. Yeah. The
People's Choice, and they were like, oh, thank you all, and I retweeted the thing, and I was like, does it really do the awards mean anything when you just go on fucking Twitter e-bagging for votes? Like, does it mean anything at that
Well,
point? Isn't it
so-
just whose director is the most popular?
the way they do the Game Awards is 90% of it is up to the jury, and 10% is the people's vote.
Right.
Which
they'll
is
have, like,
basically-
the people's vote, and then they've got a panel.
And Ghost of Tsushima won the people's vote, and then immediately all the Last of Us 2 fans and fucking Neil Druckmann himself were on Twitter saying that
Cuckman.
it was a fake campaign. It was a hard right and alt right driven voting block scheme.
Yeah, I saw that
And then
bullshit.
Neil Druckmann was on there e-begging for fucking votes, like you said. It was just disgusting, and I think that's where a lot of this comes off. Even if it wasn't bought, it's to fit the narrative. Because with The Last of Us 2, if you don't like the game, you're
X, Y,
anti
and Z.
something. Yeah, because that's what, like, I've told a lot of people I don't like the game, and that's the first thing that's always said to me is, well, you must be a sexist, or you must be, some kind of phobia or something. And it's like, no, I just don't like the writing. It's bad. It's not a well-written game at all. It reads like a
She's
fucking
happy about it.
yeah, fuck. I don't know, man. It's
Like,
just it's
when-
disparaging to see it become so corporate.
When I look at the jury, I go, okay, so they gave 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10 to crappy games. And I'm like, you mean nothing to me. And like when you go to vote, they give you a quote unquote description of what the category is, and half the time it doesn't actually meet what the category is.
Right.
So I don't know. The Game Awards, they're always cringy. They always will be cringy, and I want to punch Jeff Keighley in the face. There's something about his face that just you want to punch him.
Okay, that's a good point though, because we were talking a little about the Ryan Seacrest effect on him. So this is the same guy that was lambasted years ago for doing paid promotion with Doritos, Mountain Dew, and Halo as a games journalist, right? Which game journalism in itself is a joke. It's just come on,
100%.
it's ridiculous. So this guy is now in charge of the entire industry award show about awarding video games based on, whatever criteria. So this is the dude who literally was paid off by two multi-million-dollar corporations to sell their products to children using video games, and we're just gonna trust him and his entire group on running a fair and balanced award show? Like, come on, man, this is just stupid. It's just the Oscars, just with video games.
I mean,
Whatever
basically, yeah.
Whatever fits that narrative at that year that makes them the most money, because they don't care about whatever you believe in. They just care about what makes them a profit margin. It doesn't matter. They'll use anything they can.
And so I wouldn't have a problem with the Game Awards if every award announcement didn't end with "brought to you by Adobe." Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that defeats the entire purpose. I know you guys can't run ads this year, but you did it in the last years.
Right.
And
Well, even then, they were actually running ads. They had like the small little pop-ups for advertisements that were still popping in every now and then.
And
I don't know.
it's-
I don't really watch the Game Awards anymore for the awards.
I don't think
I look
anybody
at it
really
like-
does.
No.
Yeah, I look at it like this. The Game Awards is just basically mini E3 is essentially what it is.
It
Right,
really
where
is.
Just nothing but game trailers. You get to see what's coming out. You get to see what's working on. And to me, that's the most exciting thing, because then you get to see like these studios who are putting out some bangers, or studios that you just look at it and go, maybe that'll work.
Which they
But
ended.
I will say that there are times where I look at the Game Awards, like with the whole Among Us thing, where they won best best multiplayer and then best mobile one, and I was like, you know what, good for them. That kind of makes me feel good that their game, 3-4 years later, actually picked up enough stuff and they're getting recognized for it. Like that felt
Like they
that
deserve
felt
that.
good. Yeah. But then the rest of it, it's just like, that's kind of expected. I was basically literally, me and Helena were sitting here watching this, and as it was going up, I'm like, all right, this person's gonna win this. This game's gonna win this. It's like, this is how it's gonna happen. And it was like 9 times out of 10, I was basically right on what was being like what the awards announcements were, because it's just that predictable now as far as rewards go.
I mean,
But
like,
I watch it for the sick, dope rendered trailers. You know what I'm saying, guys?
yeah,
The freaking-
absolutely.
That's in gameplay footage. What are you talking about?
Those
Like-
sick pre-rendered 4K trailers.
The thing that kills me is whoever
Except you
decided at BioWare to go,
Wow.
N7 days coming up, let's re-announce the trilogy and tell everybody that we're doing, another Mass Effect, and then have a game trailer or teaser thing at Game Awards. They should have not said anything about a new Mass Effect.
Wait, I didn't see this. I heard about the new Mass Effect. Are they remastering the trilogy?
Yes.
Oh, I
Yeah,
will
it's-
actually play that.
Well,
I've never played
Correction.
them.
It's not a
Or-
remaster. It's basically we're gonna up 4K texture. We're not gonna touch it. We're not gonna fix any of the bugs it had. We're just gonna make it
Oh.
look better.
Yeah, it's
I-
whatever they call it. I always get it mixed up. You've got like the remaster where it's like all completely done, and you've got like the like re-release or something like that where it's just a little bit better. It's the terms are confusing sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I like the I want something like the Spyro type thing.
I mean,
Like
like, I
how
want them
they-
to go
they
in and
rebuilt the
fix
game.
some of the bugs that are it's still in the games to this day. I shouldn't have to go get a mod to fix some of the shit,
Right.
especially if you're gonna charge me for it again.
Right.
My controller's just vibrating for some reason.
But yeah, there's a new Mass Effect. It's supposedly gonna. They brought back veteran people from the first trilogy that they did, instead of the Andromeda people that we don't speak of.
Those poor people who just got
And-
fed to a bunch of wolves.
And what I'm seeing on Twitter from who was it? I don't remember who it was, but they were talking about the people that came back, and in the beginning of that teaser, they showed Andromeda and the Milky Way, and they're saying that they did it on purpose. I doubt it, but it ends with quote unquote Liara picking up a N7 little thing.
Yeah. It's like a nice little teaser, and then it doesn't really give you any more than it pops up at the end and just says, Mass Effect shall continue. And that's all you get. That's all you get.
Yep.
No dates, no timetables, just Mass Effect shall continue. Which honestly I think is marketing done right. It was also one of the things that I liked CDPR did back in 2012 when they announced this. The game will release when it's ready.
Joke's on us.
Unfortunately, we got fooled by that. But
That
like, if
was a
they
lie.
actually stick to it, yeah, if they actually stick to it, like old school Blizzard, where they literally released the game when they felt that it was in a good shape to release, instead
To
of
be
new
f-
corporate Activision Blizzard,
To be
then I think
fair,
it can turn out much better.
they could have actually had the 2020 deadline, but then COVID was like, hey, guess what?
No. There's no to be fair here. Okay, this is a multi-year process. Game development is a marathon, not a sprint. And this, you can tell, is problems that stem back from the actual design process itself and how everything was managed. This isn't a COVID thing. This is literally mismanagement and terrible design.
Well,
You're
they
taking the
could
hype
go
away.
they could go the Nintendo route, and just be like, hey, this game is in development. Bye, and just not talk about it for the next 3 years.
Metroid
I mean,
Prime
that's
4.
fine. That's fine
Bayonetta
because
3.
we know that works. Like we know that works really well. Like Nintendo is able to pull it off because we know that they're going to end up putting out a game, and we're most likely going to end up buying it. That's why when they announced Breath of the Wild 2, and they're like, "Hey, we're working on Breath of the Wild 2," and we haven't heard anything about it since that teaser trailer or the announcement trailer, I guess, since it was like what 2-3 minutes long.
It's coming in
it worked.
2021.
Well, yeah, we know that now, but like then we didn't know. They were
No,
just
we
like,
don't.
"Hey."
Yeah, I don't think
we
we know
don't.
that.
Yeah, they
I'm
haven't
pretty
even.
sure it's going to come in 2021.
They
I
haven't
mean,
No,
it's
they
a-
haven't said anything.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's still going to come in 2021.
probably is,
Next
but
year is the 35th anniversary of Zelda.
It'll come right at the end. 100%. They'll make it like
Oh, yeah,
Christmas
it's-
Day.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a like holiday release. It's not going to be early 2021. That's going to be their big money maker for Christmas time, easily. Well, also, I think I have a feeling they're going to announce that and then announce a more upgraded Switch along with it.
Maybe.
That would make sense.
'Cause Mario doesn't get people buying consoles, funnily enough. Nobody bought their Switch for Mario. They bought their Switch for Breath of the Wild. Let's be real here, guys. It's Pokemon and Legend of Zelda is the only reasons people buy Nintendo products.
Yeah, but
Pretty
people aren't
much.
buying Pokemon anymore.
Ah, good old Pokemon. That's a discussion for another day.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
God.
That's a whole nother podcast.
that's just a podcast by itself. Good God.
That's the podcast. We talk about Pokemon and we're gonna ruin the comments on any of them. Gen 3 was best. No, fuck you.
We're gonna start a war. Is what's
Yeah.
gonna end up happening.
Well, actually, it
Did
makes a lot of
anybody-
sense that Nintendo didn't put all the Pokemon in because you know how much time that would take?
What are you
Ton.
talking about? They literally copied and pasted 90% of
I
the
know.
assets from
I'm
Pokemon Sun.
I'm being
Don't get me
sarcastic.
started.
I'm being sarcastic.
I will blow up.
I'm talking from the perspective of those people that are like, well, really, Nintendo's being good because they're not making their people crunch. It's like, what do you mean? You're right. They just port models over. There's no crunch involved.
Don't let
Oh,
them
no, I'm
fool
sure.
you.
No. It's Japanese culture for crunch. So they're 100% crunching.
That's true, yeah.
They've 100% crunched out every game they've ever done, every console they've ever worked on. It's just, it's literally, it's one of the most toxic things I think that happens from Japanese culture, and it's like one of the downsides that I look at it and go, yeah, you know, Japan's pretty cool, but that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Japan and Korean culture have something about crunch. They absolutely love that shit. It's very odd.
You just sit there and you're like, it's cool that you get to go and drink with the boys and your boss after work, but like the rest of that kind of is toxic. Yeah, no, that's another podcast for a different day as well.
Also, can I point out that he's like, you
You
should
nailed
see your
it.
ammo
What?
count. Actually,
What the fuck?
could you not see
No,
your
you
ammo
could
count
see it
before? Oh, I didn't know that. I
Nope.
thought I could.
Oh, I was just laughing at the fact that your slide just magically worked its way back while you were fucking handling the gun, and then it just went back forward. You're that strong with kinetic power that you can manually rack your firearm. Amazing.
Triple A game, guys. Triple A game. That's how this is the state of Triple A gaming right now.
Yeah.
It's all hype, over marketing, and then you get this because they crunch them to death, and then they basically spit out a 6 to 7 year game in 4 years, and then expect it to be good.
Real
Is
talk, I
Space
would totally
Engineers a
see Baku
AAA
like
game?
that.
I don't know actually. Who's it made by?
I don't know the name of the company. All I know is they made a game that was basically a tech demo for space engineers.
You'd have to watch out for negative energy fields and avoid.
But
Then I have
man,
no
I've been
idea.
playing a lot of
But-
that. Like I've put maybe 14, 15 hours into that game in the past 2 or 3 days.
Damn.
Oh yeah, I've been loving it.
I don't think I've touched it. I don't even
I've
know if
never
I've heard
played
of it.
Well, Mains raided somebody the other day, and they were playing
were
Space
playing it,
Engineers,
yeah.
so I ended up joining their Discord, and now I'm like on
Playing
that all the
Space
time, all the
Engineers.
goddamn time. Huh?
It's
What'd
a
you say?
disease.
Yeah.
Space engineers is a disease, guys. It's not a
much.
game. It's a lifestyle.
I don't know. That's kind of us with barotrauma. We start like, oh yeah, we'll just play this for a little bit. 3 months later, we're still on that same campaign.
Yeah, but barotrauma, you get eaten by alien rocks, and it's hilarious.
Well,
Question,
isn't that Space Engineers?
With this guy, have you guys ever had any side
with
quests or
him,
anything?
no.
He's got an exclamation point,
Yeah,
but all you
just
do is talk
you
to him.
just listen to him talk, and then you give him money, and that's it. That's the side quest.
That's all I've had happen, yeah.
That's
Amazing.
all that happens. I stood there waiting for something to happen, and it was just like some voice dialogue here and there. And then I gave him money, and his side quest thing disappeared. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the same thing
What is that?
happened.
What? What is that dude doing?
Oh, this fucking game, dude.
Oh, that's crazy.
I can't even break in.
Nope, you gotta have strength and tech to break into police cars, and it's so annoying.
Yeah, I don't. That's the other thing about this game that doesn't really make much sense to me. Like, why do you need to be so good at shit to be able to break into cars? Especially when the car calling isn't all that great.
Especially when somebody's currently driving it and they're sitting in it.
Right.
Yeah, right. It's not that hard to rip them out.
I don't know. It's weird. Like I said, this game's got issues. We spent the whole
We
thing
did,
talking
yeah.
about the issues for this game.
And that's
It
the
ain't
thing
ever
is we've
changing.
spent so long talking about it, we could still go on. That's the big thing about this game.
But yeah, I think we got to come up to the end of this now. Kind of close it up. Final thoughts. Cyberpunk is booty cheeks. It could be better. And the Game
Could be
Awards
worse.
are only great for the pre-rendered trailers. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty
I
good.
don't
Pretty
know. I
much
think
sums it up.
Also, Jeff Keighley is apparently the what's his
Ryan
the
Seacrest of
Seacrest
video
the
game industry.
of the video game industry, which is funny because I think Jeff Keighley's actually done more for the game industry than Ryan Seacrest has done for the music industry. But they're both your very typical showy white guys, and it actually works.
They're just corporate pawns.
Aren't we all in the grand scheme of things? Aren't we all?
Have an old Doritos.
you know
Coke
what
meme.
game talks about corporate pawns all the time? Cyberpunk 2077.
This stream brought to you by Cyberpunk 2077.
No.
Let me hear it. What's the job?
In fact, I think CDPR probably hates us right now.
Could you imagine spending all that time just talking about all the issues with the game, and then it just ends? And today's
Sponsored by
podcast is brought to you by
Guessing it belongs to a corpse.
Amazing.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
Use promo code "This game sucks" to get 20% off.
Oh, no.
My final thoughts on the game is it's really janky. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not loving it.
Nobody fucks with them here.
Yeah,
I
it's,
think-
it's
yeah.
a janky fun experience, unfortunately.
If I were to, I would
Yeah.
recommend this to people, but I would recommend waiting until it goes on sale.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah,
It's
100%.
a $30 game at its best right now. If it doesn't get fixed, I'm having more fun watching my friends play it than I am playing it. So
You work this
Yeah,
out.
I literally look at it like this: fix the mechanics in the game, fix the AI in the game, and remove that stupid trans shit that's in here. That just doesn't hit the mark at all, and definitely didn't need to be in the game at all. And then it might be a better game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Fine. What's your thing?
And
Make
we
the
haven't even
trans stuff
gotten into
better.
how the blue
Oh, yeah.
conversation doesn't actually mean anything, and how your life path doesn't really change anything.
And
I'm out of beer.
Oh, that means we definitely have to end. That's it. We're done.
Dude.
It's over. Beer run time, guys. It's a booze
Oh
run.
God, yeah. I'm starting to. I'm tweaking, man. I gotta get my fix.
So yeah, what's today's date? Today's the 12th.
12th.
These go up bi-weekly. When are we gonna get this posted? Probably like Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, it'll probably be up Monday, Tuesday. We still got to make the YouTube channel, so we don't have a YouTube channel to send you to just yet. But if you follow
Yeah.
our, if you follow me or Ria on Twitter, we can post it up there.
Throw your you can throw your link in the chat, and I used to have a command for mine, but I don't have it anymore. But yeah, for the YouTube people, this will be a bi-weekly thing. We're still trying to figure out scheduling and what the channel name and everything is going to be. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, you know what the channel name is. We don't, so you know more than us. But yeah, this should be like a bi-weekly thing. Today is currently the 12th. We'll have it out sometime this week, and then from there we'll just do constant uploads and figure out a stream schedule. Personally, I like the idea of streaming these while we do them, and currently we're doing them every other Saturday, around 2 o'clock or so. So, you know, we'll figure it all out. We'll post schedules and stuff on our Twitters, and we'll probably make a Twitter for the channel itself.
A little tweeter,
Issue needs resolving with Maelstrom.
little bird app.
Got a beef?
Yeah, we'll go into it all there and explain stuff. I'll probably write something up and handle all that stuff. But yeah, for now, I think anybody else got any closing thoughts? Are we all done yelling about Cyberpunk?
No,
I
never
think
done.
we're all
yelling.
tied up and ready for Christmas. That was really good.
Never
KK.
done yelling about Cyberpunk.
Tied people
Never
up.
done. Never done. Monster Hunter Rise, January demo coming out.
Yeah, we're
God damn it.
we'll be talking about that quite a lot when that comes out. At least Haynes and
Can't
I.
do one podcast without Monster Hunter coming up.
Oh, absolutely not.
Damn right. You're damn right.
No, God, no. Maines and I will be talking about that like crazy the second that demo drops.
He's just
Actually,
happy
when
he
the-
finally has a Monster Hunter he can play while pooping again. That's all
And
it is.
Snake and I will intro.
Jesus
Yep.
Christ.
Yep.
All right. We
No,
will
I got nothing.
see you guys next time.
Adios. Happy
Later.
holidays.
Party hard.
It's what, the third day of Hanukkah?